If you were to take a map of the Malay Peninsula and insert a pin at the Costa Sands Resort Singapore and another at the Anyavi Ao Nang Bay Resort Thailand, you would find that the two are precisely 581 miles apart. Now that's relatively close considering we were already some 6,500 miles from home. And yet door to door, the journey had taken an exhausting 9 hours and 6 minutes. We'd taken a minibus, a monorail, 3 metro trains, a SkyTrain, an aeroplane, and then a further 2 buses. It had been a journey of epic proportions in every way except distance. But even just as we sat staring out the window on that final bus from Krabi Airport to Ao Nang, we could already see what an incredible place Thailand was going to prove to be. At the sides of the road was dense jungle and great mountains beyond that, and the towns we passed through were a charming mess of ageing concrete and tangled wiring. Even in the fading daylight, the beaches looked every bit as perfect as we'd imagined. It may have only been 581 miles, but this place was worlds apart from Singapore. There isn't a better introduction to southern Thailand than island hopping on a long-tailed boat. These traditional Thai boats are powered by second-hand car engines and tend to have a sort of cobbled together look about them. At best they're a little bumpy, and in bad weather they can be quite terrifying, but they get you from A to B and I grew to find them quite charming. Danielle wasn't a fan though, but the sheer limestone cliff faces that jutted up from the turquoise waters were certainly enough to distract us from any turbulence. And before long, we'd arrived at Railay Beach. It was perfect. Railay Beach was everything we'd imagined when we pictured Thailand. Golden sand, palm trees, clear warm water, and all of it framed by rainforest-topped cliffs on either side. It looked like it'd come straight off the cover of a luxury travel brochure. It really was that picturesque.
So we got dropped off at Railay West somewhere. We're trying to make our way to Railay East. Apparently it's this way.
Now a bit of a tangent, I know, but if I were looking to start a business selling 3-piece suits, I most certainly wouldn't do so on a tropical beach, much less one that's only accessible via boat. And yet there were a surprising number of knock-off Armani vendors who somehow managed to make a living doing just that.
So I think there's some monkeys around here. Can't see any. There the monkeys are.
Railay East was really more of a mangrove swamp than a beach, and so we largely skipped over it and cut across to the postcard-perfect Phra Cave beach instead. There were long-tail boats, some of which converted into fully functioning restaurants serving proper cooked food, and a tall, craggy island which proved a surprisingly long swim in the high tide. The beach gets its name from Phra Cave, tucked away right in the corner. It's a shrine to, penises, and local fishermen leave phallic statues, incense, and other offerings in the entrance to ensure good luck and safety at sea. Banana pancakes. The next few days were very much more of the same. Our speed of life had slowed down dramatically since Singapore. The jam-packed metro trains and itineraries had been replaced by an easy-going and laid-back lifestyle. But then the world just seemed to stop on the 26th of October. Everywhere was closed. The massage parlours, the pharmacies, the ice cream shops and the t-shirt stalls. It was like a ghost town. Today was a sad day for Thailand. It was the king's funeral. King Bhumibol Adulyadej had died the previous October after ruling the country for over 70 years. Most Thais loved the king the way you would a close family member. He was the world's longest reigning monarch and all the majority of the population had ever known. And the people were distraught. Even here in Ao Nang they were dressed in black and openly crying in the street. We watched the funeral from the TV in our hotel room, a 5-hour procession through the streets of Bangkok and to the Grand Palace. And then rather fittingly, the day ended with a thunderstorm. So today's day 5 in Thailand, and I think it's about day 14 of our trip so far. And we're on our way to a little pier to get a boat across to Koh Phi Phi Island. You'll have to forgive my pronunciation. It's actually said Phi Phi and not Phi Phi, but I didn't realise that at the time. The Phi Phi Islands are about 20 miles south of Krabi town. And thankfully there's a ferry that makes the 90-minute crossing. I can't even begin to imagine spending that amount of time on a long-tailed boat. So our bags are somewhere right at the bottom of that heap. And to be honest, that's probably the best place for them. That is a shoal of fish. That right here, huge shoal of fish. We didn't manage to entirely escape the long-tail boats though. For the first couple of nights we were staying on a part of the island inaccessible by foot, so we had to take one from where the ferry had dropped us off. But let me tell you, these boats were the pinnacle of safety compared to what met us at the other end. Cool.
Oh dear.
I just want to pause it for a minute here. This footage doesn't really do it justice to show just how close this kid was from sending us hurtling over that edge. Seriously, there were about 3 inches between the motorbike's tyre and what would presumably be a very painful fall. But we somehow made it in one piece. So we got to our hotel for the night, and now it's raining like crazy, so I'm going to bed. And I think that's a good place to put the bookmark.